Hi there. Today I will show how the band members of Metallica have changed. You will get to know their ages and life stories in brief. Watch this video till the end to see how all the musicians of this heavy metal band looked in their youth and early career and how they look now in 2023. Enjoy watching. James Hetfield is among the greatest metal vocalists and guitarists of all time. A large part of James' youth is associated with Christianity because he grew up in a religious family. His parents disapproved of any kind of medical intervention, so Hetfield would walk out of medical classes in school. Because of this, he was the object of ridicule from his classmates, which led to James becoming withdrawn and unsociable. The only salvation for him was music, which he was interested in since the age of 9. Initially Het played drums, but then switched to guitar. He was a member of several teenage bands, which performed covers of famous hits of the time. Having got acquainted with drummer Lars Ulrich, the guys create the band Metallica. They recorded their first demos in the bassist's garage. In 1983 their debut album Kill 'Em All was premiered, which didn't get big sales. But this record became a truly groundbreaking work, which attracted the attention of connoisseurs of nu metal music at that time. Subscribe to the channel not to miss my new exciting videos about rock stars. Let's keep going. Dave Mustaine is widely recognized as the permanent leader of thrash metal band Megadeth, but he is also Metallica's first guitarist. Dave grew up in a large family. His father had a drinking problem and abused him when he got drunk. His parents divorced when the future rock star was about 4 years old. Toward the end of the 60s, his mother gave Mustaine a guitar to him, but he did not show much interest in it. At that time Dave was keen on playing baseball and was a member of a youth team. At the age of 17 Mustaine drops out of high school and returns to the electric guitar. He is a member of the band Panic, which did not achieve much success and did not last long. In 1981 he came by ad to audition for Metallica, where he was immediately accepted. Despite Dave's musical talent, his unbearable character and addiction problems caused him to be expelled from the band in 1983. He did not take part in the recording of the first album Kill 'Em All, but co-wrote 4 songs. Ron McGovney is the first bassist for Metallica. In the summer of 1981, Ronald and his childhood friend James Hetfield formed the band Leather Charm. The project mainly performed covers of British metal bands, but the drummer's departure led to their breakup. In the fall of the same year Metallica was formed, where McGovney was invited as a bass guitarist. In the rented house of his parents all the band's rehearsals took place, and their first recordings were created. The 1982 demo cassette No Life Till Lead was recorded in a garage, and it was this that brought the first attention to the young band. Meanwhile, there were conflicts between the members of Metallica. At one rehearsal Ronald got into a fight with Dave Mustaine, whose dog was scratching the equipment. A time later Dave poured a bottle of beer on the bass guitar as a joke. Due to high tension within the band, Ron decided to leave the band. McGovney is now on good terms with all of his former bandmates. Despite his short life, Cliff Burton is considered one of the best bassists of all time. At an early age he practiced the piano. His older brother was an excellent bass player, but when Cliff was 13, he died of a vascular aneurysm. Burton took the event very hard, and afterward he vowed that he would become the most outstanding bass player in the world. He honed his playing of the instrument for 6 hours every day. When he was in the band Trauma, he was noticed by James and Lars at a gig. They were blown away by his guitar solo and suggested him to join Metallica. It was with Clifford that Metallica's earliest and most important albums were recorded. The release of Ride the Lightning brought the band its first recognition, and Master of Puppets is still considered one of the greatest heavy metal albums of all time. Burton tragically died in an accident while on tour in Europe when the band's bus skidded on a slippery road. Kirk Hammett's guitar parts are recognized by every Metallica fan. As a kid Kirk listened to his older brother's rock record collection, and that's when he realized he wanted to create something similar. To earn money for his first guitar, Hammett worked at Burger King. At the age of 16 he co-founded Exodus, a band that was one of the first to play thrash metal. In 1983 Kirk became a member of Metallica. The single one from the album Injustice for All received a Grammy nomination in the category Best Metal Performance. But it was won by Jethro Tull, much to the displeasure of listeners and music experts. It became one of the biggest failures in the history of the event. In '91 they premiered their 5th release, commonly known as the Black Album. The work hit #1 on the Billboard 200 charts and became one of the most commercially successful in metal history. The singles Nothing Else Matters and Enter Sandman are still the most famous songs of the band. Jason Newsted grew up on a farm but was drawn to music at an early age, listening to his older brother's record collection. Inspired by Gene Simmons of Kiss, he began to learn the bass guitar. In 1982 he became a member of the band Flotsam and Jetsam. Newsted was a major contributor to their debut album Doomsday for the Deceiver, writing the lyrics for most of the songs. Jason was a big fan of Cliff Burton, and his death in 1986 shook him a lot. At that time Metallica was auditioning for a new bassist, and Newsted's playing skills appealed to the members, so he was accepted. In the albums of the second half of the 90s Load and Reload, the band moved away from thrash metal towards hard rock, which did not please many of their old listeners. The releases did not receive the best reviews from critics, but they had great sales. Jason contributed to 4 albums, and in 2001 he left Metallica to spend more time on his personal projects. Robert Trujillo realized at a young age that he wanted to devote his life to music. His childhood idol was jazz bassist Jaco Pastorius, so Rob chose the bass guitar as his instrument. Trujillo was in a lot of teenage bands, but he got his first fame when he joined Suicidal Tendencies in 1989. Robert's parts can be heard in 4 studio releases of the band. For several years the musician collaborated with Ozzy Osbourne and co-wrote several songs from his album Down to Earth. In 2003 Trujillo became the bassist for Metallica, and that same year their 8th album Saint Anger was released, which received mixed reviews from critics but hit the top of the Billboard 200 chart. The next release Death Magnetic was even more successful, making Metallica the first band in history to have their albums top the Billboard chart on the day of release the most times. Lars Ulrich grew up in the family of professional tennis player Torben Ulrich, who was also involved in music. At the age of 10, Lars attended a Deep Purple concert, and after that he realized that he also wanted to become a rock star. But Torben wanted his son to become a tennis player, so his education was focused on sports. Lars was able to achieve great success in tennis and became one of the best in the junior category in Denmark. However, the passion for music proved to be stronger. At the age of 18 Ulrich together with James Hetfield became the founders of Metallica, the name for which was invented by Lars. Over the years, the band became one of the greatest and most successful bands of all time. Metallica has had a huge influence on metal music, which is why they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. The band won 9 Grammy Awards, and Lars became famous as one of the most outstanding drummers, able to combine a wide variety of playing styles. Watch these videos to see more fascinating transformations of your favorite celebrities. See you in the next video.